children? Are 3-4-year-olds more apt to do this than...
Definitely. The majority of the stories in my book are children that had the most stories, the most experiences, were up to about the age of 4. And then not as many from 5 to 9, and then it fell off quite a bit up to the age of 17. And I think part of that is the social aspect of it. I mean, little children, they don't understand that they're seeing spirits, and there's no ridicule from their peers or made to feel odd. But as a child gets older, they start to realize that this isn't the normal thing that everyone else is seeing, and they start to turn off to the gift because they don't want to be different from other people.
Well, I was going to say, while it's happening, though, Christine, are they particularly gifted? Are they good in school, for example?
No, I really don't know. I've never taken a survey about that, so that's an interesting question. That is something to. It could even be a distraction.
You're doing a test, right? And all of a sudden, that voice says, "No, change the answer to this."
Wouldn't we all love one of those with us?
I wish I did. Let's go to Marvin, truck driving in Iowa. You're up with us on Coast to Coast. Marvin, go ahead.
Hey, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, Marvin.
Yeah, my first of all, my mother-in-law passed away in 1997 of cancer at the age of 58. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
My granddaughter, Kyla, who 5 years ago at the age of about 3 was helping my wife dust around the house. My wife grabbed a picture, 11 by 16 portrait of her mother, which is Kyla's great-grandmother, when she was about 30-something years old. And my granddaughter looked at my wife and says, "I know that lady." And she'd never really noticed the picture because it sits up on an antique sewing machine. She said, "I know that lady." And my wife looked at her and says, "How can you know her?" My granddaughter looked at my wife and says, "She comes to visit me at night, and she tells me I need to clean my room." Now, this is the room that my mother-in-law used to live in until she passed away.
Oh, that is fabulous. That is fabulous. And how did your wife feel about that?
She was flabbergasted. First, she just couldn't really deal with it at first, but then she thought, that is really cool that she knows her mother was looking out for our granddaughter.
Isn't that wonderful? She's like a little angel on her shoulder.
It's got some magic to that one, Christine, doesn't it?
Right. That's the kind of stories that I hear all the time, and it's just so heartwarming to know that they watch over the children.
You could write another book just getting these stories that you're going to hear tonight.
I know.
Go to Chicago, Illinois, east of the Rockies. Tom, you're up.
Hey, George, how's it going?
Good, Tommy.
This is a little degree of separation, but it's in the vein. I lost my dad a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
Well, thank you. And a couple of days ago, my dog sat there for 2 to 3 minutes barking at nothing, though focused intently on something here in this room.
Oh, animals, pets see spirits, Tom.
That was my impression. No matter what I did, I would herd her away. And no matter what, she would focus right on the same spot. And for 2 to 3 minutes, I could not get her to stop.
and you knew it was your dog was looking at your dad or something.
Yeah, I did.
Your dad. Right. And you know why you also knew that? When they visit us, they also, at the same time, will put the thought in our minds that it is them, that they are there with us. So it's a simultaneous thought that you will get when they're around. So
Absolutely.
Most definitely was your dad. Mm-hmm. That's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Great story.
I'm so glad that brought you comfort.
Thanks, Tom. Why are animals more sensitive? Maybe because they're so innocent, like children.
That could be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we go to Betsy in Battle Creek, Michigan. Betsy, you are on Coast to Coast. Hi.
Hi, Betsy.
Hi. When my brother passed away and left a widow and 3 young children, they were 8, 6, and 5. And a couple of days after he was gone, the 8-year-old came downstairs. And he seemed to be not as upset as the others. He seemed to be more at peace with everything.
Right.
And he said that his dad had come and sat on the edge of his bed the night before and talked to him and told him that everything was okay and that everything would be okay. And he was the one of the 3 children who handled the whole thing. I mean, he was older, but he handled it better. and did better, than the other two.
That's right. It makes such a difference in the children's lives.
And he's very bright.
That's wonderful. He may visit the other ones in their dreams, and because I'm sure he's going to come around to them too. But it may be that the 8-year-old is really particularly gifted, so it was easier for him to come to the 8-year-old than the other two. But he definitely will be around the other ones, letting them know that he's with them too, and that'll be a big help to all of them. How did that help the family?
It did. It did. Everybody was comforted by that.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing like getting.
And nobody talked him out of it. Nobody.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Tried to talk him out of it.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is that I had an experience too. Shortly after that, my brother used to sing a lot of classical themes, and he loved the music from the Barber of Seville, and he used to whistle it. And I was kind of half asleep one night and watching the fire in the fireplace, and about 2:00 in the morning, I heard this whistling of the Barber of Seville.
Oh, that's so cool!
And that was so. My friend and I, whose brother had also passed away, we talked about our cosmic brothers, and we used to talk about these messages that we would get from them. That only happened once, but it was very comforting.
That's all it has to, just
That's
once.
Right. That's all you need.
Tell me about the prayer wave. How does it work, Christine?
Well, we have I have a message board and a website, and every Friday is Prayer Wave Friday, and the group, no matter what country you are in, we have 500 members from 21 countries that are part of the group, and Friday doesn't matter what time of the day. But
how
Friday,
strange. That's what we do here. I'll tell you about that when you finish it. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And we pray for everyone else in our group and anyone else who comes to the message board who asks for us to pray for them to get a sign from their loved ones. And that's how it works. And also, my message board is a safe haven for people to come and share their experiences, where many times there's no one that you can share a spiritual experience with. People just don't get it, or they think you're hallucinating. So they can come in a very safe place and share their experience, and we celebrate their experiences. That's what we're all about.
When I hear the word prayer, I think of consciousness, mass consciousness, not religion, but more spirituality. A couple of years ago, somebody sent me an email and said, George, would you please have the Coast audience concentrate on, this person with a tumor? And so I'd mentioned it and said, let's do this on a Friday at not any specific time, and let's see what happens, because we have been experimenting with the power of the mind. We've been experimenting with weather conditions, making it rain here, doing this there, with some pretty good success. So we said, what the heck, let's do it.
Right.
And I get an email back about a week or so later from the individual who said the person went in to get his tumor checked. It was gone. Gone.
Oh, my goodness.
And, again, we don't take credit for that, but it's weird. So every Friday, we just throw it out there that people on their own time say a little prayer, a little consciousness for others, and we're getting some incredible results. Now, what people do is they'll send me an email with the person's name and the affliction. I don't publish it. We don't put it up on the website for privacy reasons.
Sure.
And I just keep them, and these miraculous, or should I say strange things are happening.
Well, I think they're miracles.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. You're doing a really
But you're doing the same
service.
thing.
I know. We're brother and sisters, George. That is wonderful. But in my case, I get the instant feedback, which is really nice. I mean, that someone, and I can see that their healing is beginning, and the joy that takes place in their heart when they get a sign. So there's just nothing like group prayer, and I to God, that's the way I look at it. I really feel we touch God's heart when we get together as a group and pray for someone else, because it's a very unselfish thing to do. It's not about yourself. That's
true. Let's go to Springfield, Missouri on our Skype line. Jim, you're up with us. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Christine. Hi, George.
Hi, Jim.
Hey.
Hey, I got a cute little story. My son was about 18 months old, and it's kind of similar to the other guy's story. He was walking past the table and saw a picture of his grandfather, and his grandfather had been dead since 1932. My son's 30 now. And he looks over